So before that, welcome to our week 4. All right, session 1. Okay, session 1 for our lecturing sessions. Okay, for assignment 2, kind of what we call that, not like a brief, but a bit more like a discussion directly. All right, guys. Okay, this is basically what I've done last week. I just want to recap a bit for those who actually have been not aware, okay, on this week, the situation working with this kind of what we call the assignments there. All right, I had basically a few number kind of what we call the suggestions or what we call the questions regarding to these assignments. All right. One of those questions is whether they can actually design themselves become into a manga directly, manga characters, or any kind of anime manga kind of styles directly. If you guys browse back again, on Google's type of manga characters or type of manga styles directly, there's a few number kind of styles there. Today, I'm actually trying to interpret basically one of those type of manga style directly. It's basically been populated by one of the great artists, Takehiko Inoue directly. I don't know whether I pronounce it right or not. Okay, Takehiko Inoue directly is one of those mangaka directly, manga artists basically who actually have been produced and create most of the popular kind of manga. Okay, I don't know whether you guys been reading or not. Okay, like Slam Dunk and Vagabond, right? Okay, Slam Dunk basically is totally basically a sport kind of what we call that sport illustrate kind of what we call that stories that based on the basketball, the right players. Okay, very fun and also teenaging kind of stories there, right? And the other one basically is about a lone samurai there. Okay. So both of these particularly what we call both of these styles, okay, from Takehiko Inoue, okay, is actually in the I think this is if I'm not mistaken, is from right seinen kind of what we call that style, okay, seinen there, okay, seinen kind of styles there. We can browse from here. Okay, let me check that for you guys over here before I'm going to interpret a little bit on my kind of demonstration that I made there. Okay, Takehiko, right? Okay, this one, okay, mangaka artist, Takehiko Inoue, right? This is basically the guy there. Okay, so he's actually a real famous kind of mangaka, okay. He's been doing one of the famous. This is these two kind of what we call that manga directly or comics directly. Vagabond and also Slam Dunk. Real basically were based also on the teenage kind of love kind of stories, brother kind of food kind of stories there. Alright, so if you actually really want to develop your skill into this kind of manga anime kind of styles, you must be able to understand what type of manga genre that you're actually going to develop there, right? Okay, so right now if we Google up there, okay, back again, one of it is a seinen, is a very adult kind of anime or manga styles there, seinen there, okay, seinen or seinen there, okay. We have shoujo, shonen manga there, okay, comedy manga, okay, shoujo, a little bit more like I think a little bit more like a girl kind of what we call that type of manga, okay. Kodomo, again more like a kids. Yuri, a little bit more like cartoon styles there, okay, and a bit more like kawaii there, okay. All these kind of things, all this kind of style, you need to understand first. Don't just basically draw copy from other people's works and you thought basically you can become a mangaka style there, okay, artist there, right? You must be able to develop basically your kind of personal skills, okay, in terms of develop your drawing figurative kind of skills, and of course your drawing skill at the same time before you're going to draw or apply basically or interpret your kind of inspirations of manga styles that you're going to work with your kind of assignments or maybe your future kind of works. That's basically my kind of advice. Because most of the anime that you saw, or any kind of manga style that you saw there, okay, all these kind of artists, they actually have a very good kind of understanding to draw human face or human figures there. Okay, they actually have a very great kind of skills from there. So you're not, I don't want my student basically just become a wannabe kind of design students who actually just follow without understand why basically they choose and how basically you can interpret it right. Because as I actually have been mentioned to you guys, okay, I always stress up there, okay, I always push the students to develop basically the drawing skill first. One of the reasons, because I want my students will basically understand how to create basically those kind of what we call that, those kind of foundations kind of skills before they can paint it up there, right? As I mentioned to you guys, okay, if you want to learn how to paint, I saw basically some of the students, they start with the painting first, and then they doesn't know basically how to develop the skill properly, or they just doing basically based on their intuition, on understanding the right, without following basically the method that I've been showing you guys. They turned out basically they can actually paint it really well, but when it comes to drawings, they don't have that kind of skill to develop the ideas very quickly there, right? Very fast there, right? We're talking about fast kind of ideas there. Alright, if I actually going to share with you guys, okay, I will share with you guys later on, okay, all these 3 different kind of styles that I produced for the past few days there, okay, within a week. But I developed every single style in my demonstration, in my practical session there. Maybe I spend around 1 hour, 45 minutes or 30 minutes that works. Normally, if I want to create a strong foundation for my design, maybe I would create around not more than 5-10 minutes there, okay, depending there, okay, of those kind of drawings there. So we're talking about how to create a fast kind of ideas and styles before you're going to paint them up. Okay, if you start with paintings, you have spent a lot of times to complete those kind of tasks there. For me, I would love to see that the students produce more on their developments kind of works for their assignments, rather than they just produce one masterpiece only. They thought basically they produce one masterpiece there, right? Because if you really want to improve basically your kind of inner skills, okay, you must be able to develop more fastest there, right? Okay, more fastest kind of result from there. That's basically where you actually can make a lot of improvisation on your works in the futures. Okay, your works in the futures. All right, if you guys take a look back again right here, this is the third kind of style that I produced for these assignments. So I actually always felt and also pretending that I actually did also the assignment with my students. The difference is because I decide what assignment that I'm going to do. Okay, this is also one of those way of thinking there, okay, that I want to adapt with my students. Way of thinking there. I'm not saying that you have to think like me, but I want to give you guys some ethical kind of mindset there, okay. One of the ethical mindset that I have there, okay. I always know how to create a project for myself, to develop myself there. So if you can basically develop your own kind of personal projects in the future all the times, you always think about the project, right? You will have a lot of advantage in the futures. Trust me on that. Because you actually will plan ahead. You know basically how to plan your works ahead there, okay? And of course, even though you're lazy enough, okay, to complete some of the works for the presentations, but you still can present it your works better than the person basically who actually doesn't have that kind of ability to develop basically the work faster, right? It doesn't mean that our work is perfect there, guys. It doesn't mean that there, okay? I don't mean that, okay? I never seek for perfections. But I want you guys to understand there, okay? In order for us to develop those illustration skills, we need to have an ability to develop fast results. Okay, I start basically this kind of drawings with references. And most of my illustrations, especially for our assignments over here, I will start with the references. Okay, I don't want my student basically, okay, just imagine something when they draw, okay. You must be able to demonstrate basically your resources. Yes, I actually have been giving you guys, and I'm going to upload into your what we call that in our room later on, okay, in our stream later on, right? All of my kind of what we call it samples, I provide also the process of workings. But the difference is I didn't actually write some of the notes sometimes because I'm rushing a little bit, okay. But even though I'm rushing on my kind of demonstrations, but still they look presentables. That's the first key point that you have to bear and always keep in your mind. Always present it like you have complete those works, even though by right we can actually improvise a lot from here. Okay, so I want to show you guys, okay, the meaning of those sketches there, okay, how I actually create this funny. I don't know whether I actually share it from here. Let me check there, guys. Let me check that first. Maybe I'm not actually share anything from here, but it's okay. So this is basically the first kind of attempt, okay. Before I'm going to turn myself into more extremely kind of design, a cartoon kind of design, which is based from the same subject matters, okay. So guys, if you really want to be good at what you do, find one particular kind of references or subject matters that you guys can compose together, and then you can actually multiply basically those kind of results, or you can produce basically more ideas based on the same subject matters. Last time my students basically they developed few number kind of subject matters that based on the same photos or the same kind of references lah, okay. But now if you're really smart enough to work for these assignments, you want to experiment basically your kind of ideas there, you want to develop basically your skill at the same times, you can choose one particular kind of subject matters. As I actually have shown you guys right now, I combine 3 different elements, okay, for these photos there. The first one basically is my face, and then the second one I find out basically this particular kind of poses is quite suitable for my expressions, but I don't have that kind of full body there, okay. So what I can do, I find these photos that represent the same person, but I adjust a little bit using my composition, okay, image manipulation kind of skills, okay, and try to flip a little bit horizontal, okay, on the proportions, on the positions, and then I'm going to match basically with the body there. Okay, caricatures is all about exaggerations. You exaggerate people's face a little bit, okay, and you can also exaggerate more extreme if you want to, but make sure that you actually still can define the you can still identify basically the person that you're going to trace, or you draw back again. For me, I'm drawing back again my face. So if you want to exaggerate your face using liquify kind of technique, for examples, okay, make sure it can be identified as you as a person. Same goes when you're going to change yourself from, let's just say, from this particular kind of references into manga kind of what we call it drawing styles there, okay. You have to identify them back. How to identify them, right? You cannot just paint them, you have to sketch first. Sketch, that means you have to plan basically your structures, your foundation of your kind of drawings, your anatomies there, okay, before you're going to refine them and clean up the line there, okay. For the brushes, you guys can experiment other brushes there, but I'm using only 2 brushes normally for my sketches. Is pencil brushes, hard round pencil brushes, and the second one is ink brushes, okay, wet media ink brushes there. There's 2 brushes that I use basically to sketch, also to clean up the line. Some students say, okay, if I don't want to use outline, is it okay? For me, it's your choice, but I already give you guys the reason. One of the reason, because you can actually create more fast kind of what we call that results, because from what I actually have experienced there, guys, okay, from teaching a lot of students, and of course based on my experience of working also on those work, right, to use basically outline as a part of your way of working with your illustration is one of those privileged kind of what we call that skills that every single designer had basically to have there, okay, need to have there, right? Because why? Because that's basically that you can actually show and showcase basically your kind of strong core skills, okay? Because if you cannot draw well, you just can use Canva for example. Yes, of course you can actually claim yourself become a multimedia designer lah, but you actually have weakness, okay, to develop your core skills. Your core skill, guys, your main skill for your foundations for multimedia, kind of what we call that skills there, okay? Because if you want to compare yourself with other people who actually can work with those applications nowadays, if you guys have that kind of foundation, strong in foundation drawing skills, you have more extra kind of weapon that you can use to go to war that other people don't have. Other than that, these days, if you can use AI, not Adobe Illustrators but the artificial intelligence kind of applications, also there's another advantage for the new generation kind of designers, okay, to develop basically some concept or also some sort of like earlier kind of works there, right from there, okay? So I think for the techniques you guys can actually explore more further, okay, with Miss Ting. Okay, now guys, I want to show you guys over here how basically I execute from that particular details, okay, of those kind of illustrations based on the conventional kind of way. Now I'm start to sketch based on the same positions, compositions, but the difference is I try to make it basically my style a little bit more extreme. And of course, okay, the method that I use right now, I try to make my kind of faces more simplified, and I combining some of those styles from Cartoon Network's kind of cartoon character styles, okay, from Nickelodeon kind of comic cut style there, okay, into these presentations, okay, into these presentations over here. I start with sketches there, guys. Try to analyze back again, okay, my sketches kind of style there. All right, very confident that I produce, no hesitations, and I also understand the whole all the structures that I build. I want to build out from this kind of design there, right? And of course, same kind of discipline, same kind of work ethic, same kind of method that I use. After I sketch those kind of what we call that composition or style there, right? Okay, or design that I produce, I start to clean up the line. Okay, so based on the same composition, but I redesign different styles there, guys. I make it more extremes. Okay, to be unique, okay, in order for you guys to show your uniqueness as a designers, you have to be brave to explore and expand basically your kind of ideas extremely. Okay, and for you guys, okay, the best way for you guys to execute, okay, this kind of works, I would suggest that you actually try to explore a bit more further by collect any kind of what we call that references that you saw, okay, from Google, from any references as a part of your inspirations. But for me there, guys, even though sometimes I will seek for any kind of inspirations to produce my works there, right, but most of the times I just can actually simplify those kind of design without any kind of references. But you guys were not allowed to do that. Because why? Because when it comes to present your kind of submissions, you need basically to show your kind of resources. Don't hide your resources there, guys, because that reason why you learn, right? Okay, as a student, you have to show basically your evidence. But I actually also show you guys a bit kind of evidence, but the difference is you cannot basically what we call that experience basically the demonstration that I made. But I will basically share with you guys from time to time, don't worry guys, okay? But now I actually want to show you guys some still images on the way that I actually produced them there, okay? So I'm using those multiple kind of way. Okay, other than I do some selections areas, and then I'm paint using those soft brushes that works. I'm also using lasso tools to create those kind of shadows there, heavy kind of shadows there. Okay, so all these kind of things, okay, will give you more advantage in the future there. Okay, if you actually try, you can mix up all these kind of styles of working together. Okay, so enjoy working in the process, and for me, anything can be possible that works. Anything can be possible that works there, guys. Okay, if you really explore basically the time that you have to develop basically that kind of illustrations there, and at the same times, from what I actually have planned with for you guys, for my student normally, I never give a project which is conceptually just produced for academic only. Okay, all these works that you've been working on, okay, for the past 3 weeks, it can be applied in the real world. Okay, and we don't need any kind of fancy kind of tools that guys to work. All these general kind of tools and a bit kind of creativities there, okay, you actually can produce all these works, okay, to your clients in the future there. All right, that's the thing. And of course, if you go through back again the whole things there, okay, to create those creativities, you have to start with your drawing and sketches. Creativities can be thought, but the process of workings you have to follow back again, because I actually have shown you guys how to develop creativities by using references, because without references you won't be able to develop properly, okay, on those works there. Okay, because references, resources, inspirations really important for us as a designers there. Okay, not for the amateurs. All professionals basically use the same methods there. They actually will seek, collect all the evidence before they're going to produce the works there, right? Okay, that's the thing that you have to learn from here when you actually in the academic kind of what we call that environment there, right? Okay. Okay, now guys, this is basically, okay, according to my layer there, okay, layering method, okay, this is basically my kind of shadings kind of methods without basically drawing stroke or clean up line there, okay, outline there, right? So without the outline, this is something that you can see from here. Okay, but in terms of developing styles for oops, sorry, but because I'm using OBS. Okay, from what I've what we call that presented right here there, guys, if you're really smart enough, okay, or if you actually have been explore a lot of style, okay, this also can be a part of styles in the futures. Okay, presenting something without outline, but they look a bit more like very rough kind of styles there. Okay, so that's why in illustrations there's a billion kind of style that you guys can use. You just have to know which one basically you're going to use in the futures, or you can actually prepare yourself to develop multiple kind of style there. Okay, okay, this is basically the outlines. If you take a look, but my outline works there, okay, it's basically is similar to the printing or maybe some artificial kind of line works like AI there. Okay, my sketches, and of course, okay, let me see there. Okay, the background itself there, okay, that I've produced. I think I forgot to submit this is basically the final there. Okay, the final one there. Okay, if you guys take a look, the background that I use, I'm actually using only photos that I get from the Googles there. Okay, for some of the game maybe that related basically to the characters there. Right? How to blend it up, basically you guys can use a lot of visual kind of what we call that layering kind of effects that works. Okay, so look and analyze basically my kind of what we call that presentation that I actually showcased to your from this lecturing class, and I'm going to upload back again that works. Okay, for the final kind of what we call that style that I produce basically today. Okay, today, but I actually apologize to you guys, okay, because I have to go back, okay, after my first sessions, and then right now basically I had basically this kind of difficulty, okay, to what we call that, not to come to my sessions there, okay, but I have to go back to my place, okay, to pick up basically, okay, to fetch basically, to pick up basically my wife and my kids, and then I have to go back to what we call that to our campus there, okay. Just now basically suddenly it's heavy rain, and also I felt a little bit kind of sore throat right now, okay, because some of my students from diploma also have been affected with the COVID, and also some of my colleagues there. I'm afraid basically, okay, if we do it face to face frequently, okay, to what we call that, okay, to close maybe sometimes there, okay. So I'm afraid, because I never checked basically any kind of COVID right now, okay, because I really doesn't actually bother about it, but I'm taking some of medicines, drink a lot of waters, okay, lemon at the same time that to prevent it, okay, and take some vitamins from there. Okay guys, okay, that's basically the situations, and thank you very much also for understand basically the situation there, okay, but we still can actually can attend basically, okay, those kind of sessions over here. I think even though basically our managements were not basically allowed to do a lot of online sessions, but some of the situations we can improvise, guys, okay, as long as we can basically execute and share and also run basically, okay, our sessions, okay, effectively, okay, either basically in face to face or either basically online, okay, as long as the what we call that all these kind of missions that we have, we actually can deliver it, okay. That's basically the most important. Okay guys, the final kind of we call that works that I've done, okay, for today, okay, in my demonstrations there, okay. So I'm taking basically Takehiko Ino kind of what we call that styles there. It's seinen kind of styles, it's more serious kind of style for manga there, okay. Because one of the reasons it's not it's not like that I cannot actually design like a shonen or kawaii, chibi kind of styles there, but I just want to show a bit more serious kind of what we call that looks and feel that based on the adults kind of manga style for my presentations, okay. And of course I didn't use that conventional kind of paint styles for this one, okay. I will explain a little bit, but the demonstration I will upload later on there, guys, okay, because I have this kind of videos over here, but the videos is quite big there, okay, the huge there, okay. I think around how many gigs there, I don't know there, but the styles that I use, I'm using lasso tools and also a paper texture statue works, okay. So guys, okay, this is basically one of the styles from Takehiko Ino there, right, okay. Very serious kind of styles there, okay. Okay, the thing is right now that you guys have to know that, right, a lot of people when they copy other people's manga style there, okay, other artists manga, they copy directly there, right? They trace and copy there, right. My kind of what we call that understanding that I don't like actually just people copying things. One of the reasons, normally when you copy you don't learn anything from there, but if you taking some ideas, some styles there, some look and feels from that particular kind of illustrations as a part of your inspirations, then you apply back again to your work, okay. But you have to start with sketches there first, guys, because whatever that you're going to paint there, okay, whatever style that you're going to paint, normally all the artists that have been working on around the world, they will always start with painting there, right? They will start with drawings there, and even though sometimes when you look at the demonstrations from any kind of YouTube, they start with thick kind of paint kind of brush there, they start to paint the silhouette on whatever there, okay. Of course you can do those kind of things. I don't want to basically to show that kind of way of methods of working, because I know basically not all people can actually execute correctly. So the best way for you guys to develop the skill, always there, right, start with the foundation skills, sketches. After basically you have comfortable with your kind of sketches, then you can start to paint on top of the layers. Simple as that. And you can refer also those references, okay, of those references of pictures or whatever, okay, in order to add more detail from there. Alright, I start with this after I get this kind of ideas. Okay, this is basically a bit kind of advanced from here. Okay, I will show you guys my sketches there first. I start to sketch roughly, okay, based on that particular kind of styles there. So my sketch a bit kind of rough, okay. Normally if you guys can actually experience in the futures, I don't know, okay, about my kind of real kind of works there, guys, okay. Sometimes I just draw roughly there, guys. Very rough kind of style sketches, and then I will start to paint directly, and I mix them up all together there. So that a bit kind of difference, but the techniques and the methods that I show basically in my demonstration normally is the same, but I mix them up there around. I always mix them up there, guys. Okay, so in order for you guys to have that kind of skills, I suggest practice. Okay, don't seek for any styles yet, okay, but seek for the skills there first, whether you can draw and sketch properly, and then you can paint them up according to your sketch. That's all. Okay, so what I did basically after that, after I actually have improved, I actually can confirm basically my styles, my design. Okay, then I start to clean up the line over here. See, clean up the line there. So once I cleaned up the line, oops, just now how actually shit, I scaled it right. After I clean up the line over here, the way that I clean up the line, I'm not actually just copying exactly from what I saw from those references, but I will basically improvise a little bit. Okay, this kind of styles or techniques okay, were based on what we call that the cleanup lines comic style kind of techniques. Okay, okay, wait up guys. Okay, okay guys, so this is basically based on the cleanup line that came from the comic styles there. Okay, with the Americans or Westerns or Japanese kind of styles, this is some of the common things there. Okay, that most what we call that most of the artists need to have, need to know their okay, to works. So from here, after I add some details, I add another layers. All right, you can see the cleanup line that been produced from here, right? And then I start to make some selections and start to fill in basically the silhouette shapes there. Okay, from here. Oh, sorry, not this one there, right? Okay, I start basically to fill up basically the shapes there, right? Okay, based on the silhouette there. Okay, make the selections. After I get it right, based on the references that I know that I've seen there, right, I'm starting to add some shadows there. The shadows that I made that based from those references, but I'm using lasso kind of tools to create the solid kind of shadow shapes, just like a comic style there, guys. Using lasso to select, copy, paste, and multiply. Okay, very simple kind of methods there, guys. Okay, and of course, okay, as I actually have mentioned to you guys before, the strong kind of elements or point that we have seen from here is not about those shadings there, but shadings will help to assist there. Okay, but it's all about the drawing line works, the cleanup line works there, guys. Okay, this is basically the shadings, the shadows that are produced. Very simple kind of shadow shapes there, right? But I mixed up basically some paper textures there, okay, to paste into, to combine them together. This is my paper textures that I use. Okay, this is basically some effects that I use. The background kind of what we call that effects, I'm just download them there, guys. Okay, this is my paper textures that I paste into, make into grayscale kind of tones, multiply them back, and we get this kind of results. Okay, and get this kind of results there. So if you guys take a look over here there, okay, from what you have seen in the sessions, you guys can see that I have produced 3 different styles at the same times, okay, in one assignment. So this is how basically you can actually execute more powerful kind of visual creations, okay, in order for you guys to develop basically your skill back again from there. All right, so for me there, okay, for our assignments over here, you still have time for you to explore, okay, to explore basically the works itself there, right? Okay, if you can basically exploring with your lectures later on any particular kind of styles, go ahead there, right? But of course, if you really want to develop an anime manga kind of styles, make sure we can identify those kind of characters that you produce based on your face. We can identify them. All right, I did not basically go through with that kind of demonstrations yet, but if I have that kind of chances to work, I will work on those particular kind of styles there, okay, for my demonstration, maybe tomorrow, maybe on Tuesdays, or maybe on Friday there, right? Okay, you will see basically some progressions of changes that are made based on the same subject matters, based on the same positions, but I produce another 2 or 3 different styles there. And okay, if you guys were lucky enough to see them, okay, I will produce some another anime styles there, okay, anime manga style, okay. But of course, if you guys look back again, all this kind of demonstration that I made or sample that I made, I never basically just copying other people's styles straight away to develop to those works there, right? So there has to be some changes that are made from there. Okay, that's basically the difference between the experience there, guys. Okay, but of course, for the stage of student like you guys, I know basically some of you guys have a very strong belief and also skills that you guys can actually produce, okay, the works, okay. You just follow basically your feeling there, guys, okay. Don't basically restrict yourself into a certain kind of limitations there. Try to expand a bit more and try to take a risk there, okay, in order for you to exploring your works or your skills. We cannot be safe all the times. Don't play safe, experiment more, exploring more further from there. All right, the videos that I actually have been shared right now, okay, are based on the sessions from Mr. Fider, okay, about those what we call that redesign our Malaysian folklore, okay. He actually have been shared with you guys also some of his process, how he developed those works there, and basically, okay, both of us, okay, even though Mr. Fider, okay, we can actually design any kind of styles that or characters that we want, okay, based on those client needs or a project kind of what we call that objective or missions there. The point is right now is all about the foundation skills, okay. So you guys can actually watch this one, hopefully, okay. Of course, the guys, okay, I don't like basically, okay, those what we call that normally in my kind of what we call that sessions, because I've been through a lot of this kind of what we call that sessions a lot, okay, for so many years there, okay. I don't like it becomes a bit more static there, okay. I will have more fun with it, okay, with my sessions at the same times. I love to listen to the music there, okay, not like a conventional kind of way there, but of course, okay, based on the method itself, okay, hopefully this what we call the presentations, okay, from Mr. Fai basically will give you more insight on your knowledge, and you can see also different part of how basically people develop those ideas there, okay. That's the things. All right, so it's very good kind of sessions, again, very good sessions, okay, to brighten up a bit, to expose a bit more further, okay, on your kind of understanding, okay, because you know basically nowadays our local kind of talents, okay, there's a lot of good local talent that you guys can learn from with, other than me. But of course, officially I actually have responsible to work, so okay, but you have also your own lecturers there, like Ms. Ting, Mr. Arif, Puan Akila, Dr. Ju, okay, and of course Miss Mabel, okay, and also Max, who actually can assist you guys also there, okay. So learn also from them. Always ask questions there. Maybe you feel shy enough okay, to ask me questions. It's okay, but I really appreciate basically some of you guys actually came to me, okay, brave enough to came to me, ask questions, sharing session or whatever. Okay, I love to do those kind of things there. So if you guys were shy now, okay, don't want to ask me any questions, it's okay. Okay, you can actually ask basically your lecturers, your tutors there to help you guys, okay, to expand a bit more. But of course, I always feel direct, okay, the way that I produce my works, the way I did develop basically those kind of skills. I'm not very techy kind of guy. A bit more conventional at the same time. I cannot use those technologies, but I'm using very minimal kind of what we call that features there. They can produce also a good quality of works, body of works there, right? All right. So from here, you guys can see there, okay, I actually developed 3 different kind of styles there for these particular assignments. So hopefully you guys can do more from there in order for you to explore basically or to expand basically your skills. Okay, just like what Bruce Lee, okay, one of the late Bruce Lee, okay, said, okay, if you know about Bruce Lee there, right, one of the famous martial artists there. Okay, don't stick for one style there, okay, in order for you to what we call that fight with your opponent. When you face your opponent there, right, okay, always change styles, always be more flexible and be the waters there, right, okay. Waters doesn't mean you have to follow everything there, okay, but you know how to blend, you know how to fix, you know how to improvise the form itself, the way that you actually produce them back, okay, your styles there. That's basically one of the great kind of skills that every designers can do. We're not relying too much on technologies, but of course, without the tablets, I cannot do my works there, right? But if you give me basically some pencils and sketchbooks, I still can produce basically the ideas from there. So you need to learn also to become flexible in terms of develop the styles at the same time. All right. So that's basically okay. This is basically just my experimental of doing different kind of color combinations there, guys. Okay. So just like I said, okay, don't stick to any kind of one particular way of working on your presentation. Explore as much as you can. Nowadays, all these references that you have, okay, you guys can actually choose and find a lot of references. Okay, for me, if I want to learn back again what is caricature is all about, okay, but I actually love to explain a bit more further based on the results rather than we just give some notes there, okay. But of course, you actually can go through back again all these kind of references like this, okay. If I were you guys, okay, as a students, even though I'm not a student, I will basically seek for a lot of information like this visually there, guys, okay. I will actually explore, okay, how other people design a caricature story, turn themselves into cartoons, okay, not just have that one particular kind of genre all the time, okay, manga, but you don't know basically what type of manga that you're going to do, okay. You just follow, copy, trace from other people's works only. That's basically a bad way to develop the skills. All right, not a nasty way, not a badass way, but a bad way. Okay, so you need to basically understand it. Okay, don't be a bad kind of ruin your kind of what is skills there. Okay, you need to basically to show your badass kind of what we call the way of working. People will basically, we don't seek for any kind of salute, okay, ovation from there, but you know basically, okay, when you produce very good kind of works, you produce very right kind of way of workings, people will basically, okay, respect you from there, no matter how bad basically your attitude is, okay. So the people will respect basically your talent, your skill, your determination, and your commitment from there. Okay, all right, guys. Okay, this is basically those samples that I actually also use, okay, to enhance a bit more further on my kind of analytical kind of understanding there, okay, visually, other than we read those kind of things there, okay. Theoretical base is good, but I really love to give more visual than those words there, okay, in order for you to learn. how to develop basically. This is also some of the videos that you guys can refer also at the same times. How other people actually doing those caricatures there, okay, based on those fishes, how they exaggerate them, how basically they develop from the structures itself. But I think most of the demonstration from these caricature artists, they doesn't show basically any kind of sketches. Most of them, they straight away draw from life, okay, using basically their kind of understanding there, okay, because they already understand how to exaggerate people kind of faces there properly. But the key point of all those kind of demonstration that you see there, okay, demonstration that you see, go back into your drawing skills and improve more on your cleanup line at the same time there. Okay. All right. Any questions so far? Any questions so far, guys? No. All right, guys. Any questions? No. No questions. Alright, hopefully, okay, all these demonstration samples will give you guys more clear understanding, okay, how you're going to execute them. And of course, you can discuss with your lectures later on, okay. You actually can not do comparisons, but find some options there, how to execute properly to your works, okay. Because we need to have a lot of options, but don't think too much, okay, when it comes to develop them, execute them. Just execute fast, and then do a bit more experiment on your works, and later on you can actually decide, okay, which one basically is suitable. But I really love to see your kind of progressions, okay, when you guys submit your works there, right? Okay, so let me take attendance there first over here. How many people is involved? 60 there, right? 60 were attended, okay. Those kind of what we got our sessions over here. Let me check there, right? B Peishuan is not here, right? B Peishuan is not here.
She stopped. I mean, she withdraw the uni.
Okay, the rest of you guys were here, there, right? Why suddenly we got around only 59? Huh? Who actually left there? Okay, after taking attendance, just left there, right? Huh? Okay, guys, I will take the attendance for you guys, okay, over here, okay. But I will basically take a look back again from time to time. If some of your friends were basically missing in action, or they actually did not basically attending any other session from practical kind of sessions, okay. Oh, sorry there, guys. Okay, I actually mixed up with Mustang and also diploma kind of recorded lectures there. Okay, Mustang. Okay, Mustang will basically keep track also with your kind of attendance there, right? Okay, at the same times. All right. So far, basically, what you guys been working with Mustang, just proceed with it. But you guys can actually discuss and share basically some ideas from there, right? So what you learn from the lecturing sessions, you guys can bring over, and you actually can ask and discuss a bit more. And of course, okay, I know basically, okay, normally Mustang will ask you guys a lot of developments, okay. Don't let us to decide, okay, that's the thing, guys, okay. Don't let other people decide what you're going to do, but you can show basically some options. Okay, how about this, how about that, visually. Okay, draw first, shows a bit kind of progress and results, and then you can discuss. Don't just say anything, okay, without having evidence, okay, to discuss that, right? Okay, so thank you very much, guys. I don't want to hold you guys too long, okay, because I know basically it's late, right? So thank you very much. Have a good day, have a good night at the same time. Take care of yourself. All right, I will upload as usual basically this demonstration, this sample, this kind of lecturing class, okay, these sessions right here. All right, so have a good evening, guys. Okay, thank you very much for attending. I'll see you guys around later on, okay, on our next sessions. And all the best. Good luck with your assignments, and have a nice day. Bye bye.
So the attendance will see from the Google Meet, right?
It can be. I can see from there. You guys also can check basically your attendance, right? Normally they're going to be appear lah. Then we can double check back again. Yeah. You already get your attendance from there, right?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome. Alright, thank you very much, guys. Thank you everyone. Bye bye. Good night and take care, alright.